allows this afternoon, and that is per the members' own standing order 34 to be exact. Once they do that, members shall proceed to consider a number of motions as listed on the order paper, in addition to consideration of a petition that is expected to be presented by the Honorable Ibrahim Sane, the Member of Parliament Wajir North.
Proceed to call the first order, please.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
We will come back to petitions. Just proceed to call the other orders, please.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, we will start with a statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1. That is the statement by the Majority Leader.
You cannot point of order culture. Statement, Mr. Speaker, this is a statement by the Majority Leader on the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday, the 3rd of October 2023, pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1, I hereby present the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday, the 3rd of October 2023. Before I proceed with the statement, I take this opportunity to appreciate Honorable Senators for making time to travel to Turkana County for the Senate Mashinani. I celebrate all of you that have found time to be with us here in Turkana. I believe that while here, we have interacted with the residents of Turkana County and have devised mechanisms to provide solutions to challenges that we have encountered. The interventions that we will make will go a long way to have a positive impact on the devolution and the great people of this county. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank Honorable Senators for their contributions to the business that had been lined up for consideration at this Senate Mashinani Week. Particularly, I thank Honorable Senators for their contribution on the Facilities Improvement Financing Bill, Senate Bill number 3, which is now being transmitted to the National Assembly. As indicated in today's order paper, we still have a lot to do. At order number 8 and 9, we have bills that are in the committee of the whole stage. I would like to acknowledge significant progress that have been made in dispensing with this business, and I continue to urge the spirit to continually be upheld, Mr. Speaker. I celebrate even further, Mr. Speaker, that in the last 2 or 3 days, Mr. Speaker, we have closed ranks on matters of national importance and agreed on virtually every vote that we have taken as a House, Mr. Speaker, and moved forward. I urge that we carry on with this spirit even as we return to our normal, that we shall consult, agree and respect each other's opinion. In terms of other legislative business, Mr. Speaker, there are businesses that are pending consideration in the Senate. There are 20 bills that are at the committee second reading stage, while 7, including the 2 that are listed in the order paper for today, are at the committee of the whole stage. 25 motions are pending conclusions, while 18 petitions are due for reporting by respective standing committees. Additionally, 213 statements are under standing order number 52.1 and 53.1 are pending conclusion by relevant standing committees, while 14 questions are pending, 4 of which have been scheduled for response by respective cabinet secretaries on Wednesday, 4th of October 2023. As we are all aware, our work as legislators has an impact on the people we represent. I therefore continue to emphasize the need to timelessly dispense with the business before the Senate. I urge the committee chairpersons to rally members of their respective committees and table reports within the timeline set in standing orders. On the other hand, party whips are encouraged to continue ensuring that senators are available in the House to consider and pass legislative business when due. This collective effort will enable us to realize our mandate as a Senate. Mr. Speaker, sir, at its meeting held on the Tuesday, the 26th of September 2023, the Senate Business Committee approved the next set of questions to be scheduled in the order for Wednesday, 4th October 2023. The summary of the questions and the Cabinet Secretary to appear as follows. Question number 1 to the CS for Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action by Senator James Kamau Murango on categorization of Mwea as a hardship area. Question number 51 to the CS for Youth, Sports and the Arts by Senator Mohamed Said Chute on the status of construction of Marsabit Stadium. Question number 53 to the Cabinet Secretary for Youth, Sports and the Arts by Senator Cherargei on Team Kenya's participation in the World Athletic Championship in Budapest. And question number 55 to the CS for Defense by Senator Mohamed Said Chute on participation of Kenya in the African Union mission to Somalia, AMISOM. I am aware that there are some challenges in the implementation of question time, particularly availability of Cabinet Secretary. My office, together with the Senate leadership in general, is addressing this matter together with the executive to ensure that the questions are responded as scheduled. It has been a taxing week for all of us, Mr. Speaker, and I believe we have all taken advantage of the week in the great county of Turkana, the cradle of mankind, to learn and to make positive impact in various areas of our work. I believe that as a Senate, we have appreciated unique challenges that Turkana County and other counties in the arid and semi-arid areas face, and will develop legislative interventions to address their plight. This is something, Mr. Speaker, which I believe colleagues have noted and do appreciate. The unique challenges. Mr. Speaker, it is one thing to sit in Nairobi and argue on division of revenue, argue about population, argue about land size, and a different ballgame altogether, Mr. Speaker, when you sit here in Turkana and appreciate the challenges that face the people of Turkana. I believe senators return to Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, fully aware of the challenges that many of our arid and semi-arid regions continue to face. Finally, Mr. Speaker, you know, when we went to Kitui for the second edition of Senate Mashinani, one of the greatest impacts that we left, Mr. Speaker, is that we were able, our Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, Mr. Speaker, was able to visit Kitui prison and engage, Mr. Speaker, on people that had pending bail hearings and rulings, Mr. Speaker, which they eventually were able to secure the release of those citizens. That is a lasting impact that has remained with the people of Kitui. As we leave Turkana, Mr. Speaker, it will be important for the various committees to ask themselves, what is it that is of impact to the people of Turkana and Kenya as a whole that they live while they depart from this particular county, Mr. Speaker? I am aware that committees, Mr. Speaker, have noted the challenges that are faced by the people of Turkana. I have appreciated the comments that I have seen from them. Mr. Speaker, I have seen, for example, comments from members of the Agriculture Committee who are scheduling to invite the CS for Agriculture to respond why the nationally celebrated fertilizer subsidy program has not commenced here in Turkana County. Turkana is part of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, and they deserve to get the fertilizer subsidy program, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we interacted with the CS for energy yesterday morning. It cannot be that one of the greatest sources of energy that is used across the country is energy deficient, and the citizens of this county have to survive without the national grid supply of the national grid in many of their homes and even institutions such as the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. I do hope that as the cabinet minister promised this house, Mr. Speaker, he is going to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that that question is resolved and the people of Turkana will have the Senate of the Republic to thank for speaking up on the issue of energy crisis in this county and ensuring that it is resolved. I know, Mr. Speaker, that colleagues have noted various things which in their various committees they will seek to address as we return to and go back to Nairobi to ensure that the meaningful impact of our visit is felt for years down the line and people will appreciate that it was not just in vain that we came to the county of Turkana. Finally, I take this opportunity to thank the Turkana County government, led by Governor Jeremiah Lomurukai, and the Speaker of this great county assembly, Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Christopher Nakuleo, the members of the Turkana County Assemblies, the clerk, the staff of this great county assembly, for their warm hospitality during our stay in Turkana. We can never say thank you enough. We shall continue to collaborate and work together with you so that you may realize your aspirations as a people. I hereby lay the statement on the table of the Senate. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now we will move to the statements pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. Senator Wafula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement of a matter of general topical concern, namely the plight of 5 Kenyans who are stranded in Malaysia. Mr. Speaker, sir, the five Kenyans, namely Sospita Ngahu from Bungoma County, Dixon Amin and David Nyamanga from Kisumu County, Geoffrey Maina from Kiambu County, and Charles Gitonga from Nairobi City County traveled to Malaysia on the promise of well-paying jobs only for them to become victims of global trafficking in humans. The 5 who are now stranded in Malaysia are living in very deplorable conditions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the victims were taken to Malaysia in the name of getting well-paying jobs by an agent working for Elite Job Hub 2-1 agency, who organized for everything concerning the travel and at a fee to the victims. They were thereafter handed over to another Kenyan in Malaysia, who took them to a Pakistani, who later handed them over again to an Indian, who thereafter handed them over to a Chinese company, J&T Cargo, where they settled and started working, albeit without any signed contracts. They worked several jobs, including loading and offloading heavy cargo, such as fridges in the company's warehouse. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 5 worked at J&T Cargo for 2 months. They worked for a 12-hour shift every day without proper meals. Their lunches comprised 5 slices of bread with 250 mils of milk. They were not provided with proper shelter and worked without pay. After the 2 months, when they decided to ask for payment from their Chinese employer, they were told that they could not be paid because they had been bought and should be ready to work for 3 years before a decision on whether they should be paid could be made. After another 2 months, while working during a night shift, the 5 were thrown out by the employer without any compensation for their labor. Mr. Speaker, sir, in order for the 5 to leave Malaysia, the need to pay a fine for overstaying their visa as they were not issued with a work permit as earlier communicated to them. They now need money to pay for the overstay fine and flight tickets to come back home. Some of them had taken loans back home in Kenya in order for them to pay for the relevant agency fees for them to travel to Malaysia. Due to their lack of funds, and 5 are stuck in Malaysia. Mr. Speaker, sir, the five have written to the Kenyan embassy in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, seeking assistance but have not received a response. They currently stay in a forest during daytime and sleep in one of their warehouses near the forest at night. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a senator in this House, I'm concerned this situation raises questions. 1, are we still in the era of slave trade? 2, is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs aware of the problems that the 5 Kenyans are going through in Malaysia? And if yes, what steps have they taken to save the Kenyans? 3, what is the role of Kenyan embassy in Malaysia in ensuring that the 5 Kenyans are facilitated to come back home or come back to Kenya? Mr. Speaker, sir, I therefore urge the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare, in collaboration with the Ministries of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs and that of Interior and National Administration, to inquire into this matter and ensure that the people who are involved in human trafficking activities are dealt with. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Senator Wafula. Senator Fuller, that statement could have been raised appropriately under Standing Order 53.1 so that we can commit it to the relevant committee. However, I will invoke my discretion pursuant to Standing Order 1 and commit that statement so that at least the situation is probed and the 5 Kenyans get justice. Thank you. Yes, Senator Kenywa.
Mr. Speaker, I've listened to Senator Wakoli, and he's asking whether you can commit to the Committee of Labour, but that matter is not within Kenya. I thought it's supposed to be committed to the Committee of National Security and Foreign Affairs. Just a point of clarification, Chair.
Sure, it will be committed to the relevant committee. He has listed a number of committees, including that of Foreign Affairs. So if the lead committee should be, of course, the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. Yeah. Now, I'm not seeing the host senator here. He had a statement to make under that standing order, so we'll defer that. Nominated Senator Catherine Muma is not present. She left. Then proceed to you're holding brief for Senator Kathy. Yes. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Here's I'm holding brief for Senator Catherine Muma, and the statement is on sustainable exploration of natural resources in Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to make a statement on a matter of county-wide and general topical concern, namely the sustainable exploration of natural resources in Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 69(1)(a) and H of the Constitution requires the state to ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of the environment and natural resources, and ensure the equitable sharing of the accruing benefits. Furthermore, Article 56 obligates the state to implement affirmative action programs to ensure that marginalized groups and minorities are adequately represented in governance and other spheres of life, access special opportunities in employment, education, and economical fields, develop their culture, values, languages, and practices, and have reasonable access to water, health services, and infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, sir, the historic marginalization of Turkana County has perpetuated the inability of the local community to fully benefit from abundant resources and tap the transformative potential and sustainable resources exploitation. Turkana County covers 77,000 square meters in size, and approximately 65,000 square kilometers of this is arable land mass, holding immense potential for both the county and the nation at large. If exploited sustainable and equitably. Research conducted by the Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis established that Turkana key natural resources include water from the Turkwell, Kerio Rivers, and Kerio River and Lake Turkana, mineral deposits including oil and gas, limestones, gold, mercury, among others, forest, wildlife, and renewable energy, such as geothermal, solar, and wind. Mr. Speaker, sir, the exploitation of these resources has, however, been hampered by the internal and external security issues affecting Turkana County. This includes conflicts with the neighboring communities and cross-border issues with South Sudan, Uganda, and Ethiopia. These internal and external security issues have affected activities in Turkana, such as fishing and patriotism and mining.
Order, honorable members. Senator Folamo, I could hear you yelling. Kindly allow the senator to make the statement in silence.
This, I repeat, these internal and external security issues have affected activities in Turkana, such as fishing and patriotism and mining, resulting in limited development in the county, despite the abundance of resources. Mr. Speaker, sir, without affirmative measures and programs to increase investment for sustainable exploitation of those natural resources, Turkana County will remain as a marginalized area with limited development and benefits to its people, future generations, and the nation at large. It is important that community engagement and participation be incorporated in decision-making processes regarding the sustainable exploitation of natural resources to ensure that the interests and rights of the local community are protected and promoted. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is from the foregoing that I call upon the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources to seek an audience with the Council of Governors and Cabinet Secretaries for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Energy, Petroleum and Mining, and Interior and National Administration with a view to, 1, assess the affirmative action and programs put in place, if any, to facilitate the sustainable exploitation of natural resources in Turkana. Outline measures taken by both the national and Turkana County governments to protect and safeguard Turkana County residents from insecurity. Explore avenues for international cooperations to address cross-border issues and enhance security in the region. And finally, evaluate the extent of community engagement in decision-making processes regarding the exploitation of natural resources in Turkana County and recommend measures to ensure community participation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of Catherine Muma, Senator. Thank you.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Honorable Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to request a statement on the regulation of scrap metal industry in Kenya. I last pursuant to the Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on the regulation of scrap metal industry in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should state the plans by the government to enact strict regulation on the scrap metal industry to combat the widespread vandalism of public properties which threatens the nation's infrastructure and security, and outline measures in place, if any, to consider elevating vandalism to the status of economic crime with more severe penalties and harsh consequences. Further on, Mr. Speaker, sir, I last pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education concerning the death of Master Caleb Odanga, a 7-year-old student from Green Ages Academy in Kiambu during a school trip. In the statement, the committee should investigate the unfortunate incident where Master Caleb Odanga suffered fatal head injuries after falling from a merry-go-round, disclosing the individuals or the entities accountable. Emulate the existing safety protocols during school excursions, stating whether learners are insured against such accidents while on a school excursion. And 3, identify the parties responsible for organizing and financing counseling of Caleb's devastated mother. Further on, Mr. Speaker, I like to make a statement under the same 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on the institution of measures to safeguard families of patients with brain stem death conditions. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state plans in place, if any, by the government to develop policies and institute measures aimed at preventing hospitals from exploiting families of brain stem death patients by unnecessarily prolonging life support services. 2, outline measures in place, if any, to safeguard and protect vulnerable families from undue financial and emotional burdens when dealing with brainstem death patients. And 3, recommend the development of comprehensive guidelines that promote ethical and compassionate treatment of patients in brainstem death conditions to safeguard the interests of families and the dignity of the patients. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I will allow limited comments on those 3 statements. Senator Mundigi. Very well. Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I would wish to make a few comments on the statement by the Senator for Bungoma, Senator Wafula. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed very saddening to actually learn from this House, from the floor of this House, that there are a number of Kenyans who can still be treated like slaves, taken out of this country, and even after sharing their plight in whichever manner that they shared, to the extent that those plights in Malaysia found themselves into this House, it seems like the minister, or rather the CS in charge of this country's foreign affairs, is completely unaware. It's very unfortunate, because by the time information travels from Malaysia, gets to the ear of a senator in this country, I would imagine that numerous efforts will have been made in a number of places to make sure that those Kenyans are treated like human beings. And this, Mr. Speaker, just shows how lackadaisical perhaps our ministry, or rather the minister in charge of foreign affairs issues, Mr. Speaker, is. And we want to urge, without sounding political on this issue, because I think this is a matter that's emotive in the sense that these Kenyans left the country in search of greener pastures. Innocently so, to the extent that they were gullible and treated in a way that they thought it was going to be better for them. This is an issue that I hope that even if it is committed to any other ministry other than the ministry responsible for foreign affairs, Mr. Speaker, I would wish that the ministry takes it as a diplomatic issue and an issue that must be escalated to the extent that our embassy in Malaysia, together with the relevant institutions in Malaysia and the Malaysian government, must have these Kenyans brought back home within a very specified time without them facing further abuse in Malaysia. And this should never happen, Mr. Speaker, in a country where we are priding ourselves to be a leading economy in East and Central Africa. It's happening when our country is releasing policemen to go and assist a country such as Haiti to fight crime that are of this nature, Mr. Speaker. These kind of abuses. How then are we as a country going to help another country deal with these kind of crimes and abuses, including using taxpayers' money to get the police to Malaysia, when our own are suffering in Malaysia and we're sending people to Haiti? So it is a shame that we must call out, and it is a shame on the minister responsible for foreign affairs. It is also a shame for the minister responsible for labor, and this is something that must stop. And Mr. Speaker, I hope that the relevant committee will ensure that there is a timeline and a commitment to make sure that those Kenyans come back home. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Ni kweli na ni jambo la kuvunja moyo sana Bwana Mwenyekiti, ya kwamba Wakenya wametoka nchini kwenda kutafuta ajira katika nchi za ng'ambo Bwana Spika, wanaenda wanakumbwa na mashaka Bwana Spika. Lakini hata hivyo Bwana Spika, serikali inajua, serikali ya Kenya Kwanza tayari inajaribu kuangazia mambo haya. Bwana Spika, ukiangalia tayari wameajiri wauguzi wa nyanjani zaidi ya 100,000 Bwana Spika. Vile vile Bwana Spika, unapata tayari wamepeana pembejeo niposa wakulima wetu waweze kupata afueni ndio waweze kufanya kazi yao Bwana Spika. Lakini hata hivyo Bwana Spika, ni vizuri kamati yetu ambayo itapewa fursa hii ya kuangazia haya maneno Bwana Spika, waangazie kwa kindani ndio tupate suluhu la kudumu Bwana Spika, ili Wakenya waweze kupata afueni Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, jambo lingine ni ya kwamba shule zetu zinapaswa kuwalinda watoto wanapoenda katika safari za shule, kulingana na vile ambavyo taarifa iliyosomwa na seneta wa kutoka Nyeri wa Matinga kusema ya kwamba iko wanafunzi walienda katika safari wakapata shida na mmoja wao akaweza kufa Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri wananchi, walimu wanapopeleka watoto katika safari waangalie kabisa Bwana Spika, ndio waweze kuwa wasipate madhara wakati wameenda. Kwa hivyo kamati ya elimu Bwana Spika, ambayo inaongozwa na Joe Nyoto, najua ataangazia hayo maneno ndio waweze kujua ni lipi lililotokea Bwana Spika, kosa lilitokea wapi. Ikiwa kosa litapatikana Bwana Spika, waweze kupata suluhu Bwana Spika, ambayo itasaidia wakati siku zetu za usoni. Asante Bwana Spika na nashukuru.
Now, honorable senators, I will pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, you will allow me to rearrange the sequence of today's order paper, of course, for the convenience of the House, to prosecute a bill that we need to take it through the Committee of the Whole. That is Order number 9. And of course, time allowing, we may prosecute the 2 bills that are ready to be committed to the committee of the whole. And therefore, we will straight away move to handle order number 9 and 8. And once we are done with those two, we will then come back and flow with the order paper as presented today. Clerk, kindly proceed to call that order. Just proceed to call order 9.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole. The Primary Health Care Bill, Senate Bills number 44 of 2023.
Honorable Senators, we are now going into the Committee of the Whole on the Primary Healthcare Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 44 of 2023. So I request the clerk to call out the clauses.
Clauses 3 and 4.
I propose the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 3 and 4 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill, and I invite the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Health, represented by Senator Essie Kenyuri, to present the amendment to the House. Senator Mariam Omar in place of Senator Essie.
I beg to move as per the order paper, clause 5 as amended, as per the order paper. Thanks.
Aye.
You are familiar with the nature of the amendment?
I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed, division at the end. Next.
Clauses 6 and 7.
I propose the question that clause 6 and 7 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 6 and 7 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 8 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill, and I invite Senator Godfrey Osotsi to move these amendments. The honorable senators, we are constrained for time, so you take the minimum time. And
Chair.
Senator Cheptumo will be the next one after Senator Osotsi.
Chair, after having looked at the order paper, I had proposed an amendment as per the order paper, but looking at the order paper, I think my colleague Senator Mungatana has comprehensively covered that part 1 of 9. So I will only retain the B, which is in subclause 4, by deleting the words guidelines appearing immediately after the words the county legislation, and substituting therefore the words and regulations approved by respective county assembly. Madam Chair, the import of this is so that we do not allow the CEC for health just to give guidelines, but then these guidelines might be anchored in law. So I'm proposing that instead of guidelines, they should be regulations approved by the respective county assembly. But I'm dropping the A part of it to adopt Senator Mungatana's proposal.
Senator Cheptumo, not Mungatana. That's okay. The comments are noted, and the part that you have dropped is also noted.
Thank you.
Senator Cheptumo.
Thank you, Chair.
Point of order.
I propose that...
Madam Chair.
What is your point of order, Senator Danson?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to put it on the issue that Senator and my neighbor, Senator Osotsi, was talking about. Is a question of public participation. It has not been dealt with by Senator Cheptumo. So he is very right.
Madam Chair, my amendment is different.
Senator Mungatana, just 1 minute, Senator Cheptumo. What you're proposing is not under that clause. It's under clause 9A, the new clause 9A. So as far as clause 9 is concerned, I think Senator Osotsi has addressed the issues. So we want to hear Senator Cheptumo. You will address us at when we get to clause number 9A, the new clause 9A.
Thank you, Madam.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order.
What is the point of order?
Senator for Nairobi has just come in with some weapon. No, please, it's important. No,
Senator,
it's the House of Order.
Just resume your seat. Senator Edwin Sifuna, can you cede that weapon to the sergeant at arms? The seat.
Guys, please.
Don't lose it.
Madam Chair, I don't know what weapon you are referring to.
Weapon. It's the item you came in with. The gift.
This is my
yes.
seat.
That's
It's my
okay.
gift.
Cede it to the sergeant at arms, then we procead on. We have
Madam
little
Speaker, I've been
time.
told that I cannot hand over this. This is a symbol of authority.
What wamepeana? Everybody gave out the symbols. We received those symbols as a Senate House. Everybody has ceded them to the sergeant at arms. Sergeant at arms.
Can you direct that the
Receive them.
sergeant at arms, Omwami, this one
Let's
is...
not waste time. Let's not waste time. Receive them, Sergeant. Thank you, Sergeant at arms. We proceed.
Unaninyang'anya uongozi ba.
Senator Cheptumo, proceed.
I propose that clause 9 be amended, clause 9 of the bill be amended in clause 2, subclause 2, by deleting the word or appearing immediately after the words the national languages in paragraph F and substituting therefore with the word N. Madam Chair, the justification is very simple. The two languages of English, Kiswahili, we must add again the local language for the promoters of healthcare. So that is really the basis of my amendment.
I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by Senator Osotsi and Senator William Cheptumo. I put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by Senator Osotsi and Senator William Cheptumo. Next.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. And I request Senator Osotsi to address the House on the proposed amendments on clause 10.
Madam Speaker, my amendments on clause 10, Madam Chair, that is 10F, subclause 3F is meant to delete the provision on data protection. If you notice, that provision is only applying to community health promoters. So the intention is to delete that and have a global clause, which is among my proposed amendments, to take care of all data protection issues in this bill, which is not limited to promoters only, but to any other person involved in managing data, including the county and even the national government. So I have an additional amendment to this, but this was to delete this so that we have a global clause on data protection.
I propose the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by Senator Godfrey Otsotsi. I put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by Senator Godfrey Otsotsi. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 11.
I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 12.
I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill, and I invite Senator Danson Mungatana to address the House on the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The amendment to clause 12 I propose is that after the word training, we insert at least the words at least once a year immediately after the word training. Madam Chair, the justification is that if we left it open, the county governors may not take these people for training at all, And they may always look back and say that it is the money they don't have. So if we make it compulsory that they must go at least once, it will ensure that we have quality and trained health promoters. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I propose the question that Clause 12 be amended as proposed by Senator Danson Mungatana. I put the question that Clause 12 be amended as proposed by Senator Danson Mungatana. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 13.
I propose the question that Clause 13 be part of the bill. I invite Senator Essie. Is Senator Essie here? Vice Chair of the Standing Committee on Health, to present that amendment.
I propose Clause 13 to be amended as per the order paper.
Now, that's clause number 13. There are different proposals on amendments by Senator Godfrey Otsotsi, Senator Eddie Okech, and Senator Danson Mungatana. Now, the amendments proposed by the three senators are safely captured by the amendment that proposed by Senator Eddie Okech. So I'll give you half a minute each to present your amendments and to consider dropping your amendments in favor of Senator Eddie Okech, which captures and goes beyond your proposed amendments, the three senators.
Just for the record, you need to clarify something, because when the Vice Chair stood up, she proposed that Clause 13 be passed as amended. So which version is she talking about? There is need for clarification on that, for the record. And I don't think whether she's supposed to be proposing or moving an amendment.
She's moving an amendment, which we have not closed out on, and that's why I've raised to the House that there are three other senators who have moved amendments, proposals for amendments, and further informed the senators that the amendments could easily be captured by what is proposed by Senator Eddie, and Eddie's proposal also expands beyond the proposed amendments by the two other senators. So I want to give each of them half a minute to present their amendments and see whether we can accommodate all of them under one amendment. So we start with Senator Otsotsi, then Senator Danson Mungatana, and then Senator Eddie will be the last one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the import of my amendments, which I agree I'm going to drop it, was so that to delete 13F, which I felt is infringing on the PFM Act and also the Constitution, because it says coordinate with the National Treasury and other development partners for mobilization and allocation of adequate resources. You know that is not the role of either government, but I am looking at Eddie's proposal where he's proposing to amend so that to say the national government shall appropriate and transfer to the county revenue fund of respective county governments such monies as shall be required for effective performance of the function under this act. So that effectively covers. Yeah, so I support.
And that is the same proposition that was made by Senator Omar on behalf of the chair of the Health Committee. So Senator Mungatana.
Madam Chair, there are two proposed amendments under Clause 13 from my side. The first one is the introductory clause, so that instead of having what the committee is saying, we make it clear and say the Cabinet Secretary shall provide policy direction for the effective provision of primary healthcare services by county governments and shall for these purposes. So that the way the committee has said, just saying Cabinet Secretary shall is not sufficient. But if we put it that the Cabinet Secretary shall provide policy direction, then that captures the spirit of the Constitution. So that is the first bit. The second bit, I want to concede that the proposition by Honorable Senator Eddie Oketch covers my concerns, and so I will drop mine. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Eddie, quickly.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the concern by my friend Senator Mungatana. Actually, that one appears exactly as you have proposed. If you look at my proposal on that introductory clause, it actually reads, the Cabinet Secretary shall provide policy direction for the effective provision of primary health care services by county government and shall for this purpose. Then it continues. So I think that is catered for. I also do agree that the concerns on F by Senator Osoti is also taken care of. But Madam Speaker, I think that I actually also sought to separate the issue of management vis-a-vis the issue of policy formulation. And therefore, I chose to change part 4 in terms of the heading, so that it provides, it doesn't mix the role of national government and the role of county government into a convoluted idea of management, so that part 4 will read the role of national government in primary health care policy, and therefore there are consequential clauses that does affect, which I think are the consequential clauses that my brother Osoti has talked about. But then it also touches on the subclause 2 that says we delete the word counties appearing immediately after the words data from the paragraph C, because now that particular part will only be dealing with national government's role. So therefore, we don't need to have county in that role. And then now we remain with counties just on the management. So that is it.
Thank you, Senator Eddie. Senator Mungatana, does that capture part A of your amendment?
Yes, I think it is capturing all the concerns. So we are good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So the proposed amendments by Senator Godfrey Otsotsi and Senator Mungatana on clause 13 are dropped. So I now propose the question. Chair of the Committee of Health, do you have any concern? The amendment is as per Senator Eddie's proposal.
Chair, I have no concern. I think it's okay.
So the proposal by the chair of the Health Committee is equally dropped. So I now propose the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed by Senator Eddie. I put the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed by Senator Eddie. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 14.
Okay.
Sorry? Now.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill, and I want to invite the following senators who have proposed amendments to address the House on these clauses: Senator Godfrey Osotsi, Senator Eddie Okech, and Senator Danson Mungatana. Chair will be the last one to address the House on that clause 14. In that order.
Madam Chair, I beg that the amendment, my amendment on clause 14, be amended as per the order paper, and the import of this amendment is to do away with the advisory council, the National Advisory Council that has been proposed in clause 14. From the contribution of many members, they thought that this was going to violate the Constitution, and this was going to be a quiet takeover of the functions of counties because primary health care is devolved. Madam Speaker, as a substitute to this, clause 16 talks about a similar council but at the county level. So we would rather maintain the advisory council at the county level but do away with the national one.
Thank you, Senator Osotsi. Senator Eddie, you're next, followed by Senator Mungatana.
Chair, I think I also had proposed. Chair, may I be heard in silence? Some people are excited to be
and then
chairpersons of
honorable
some.
member be heard in silence. Senator Methu, please maintain silence.
So, Chair, this is one of the clauses that we have had conversations on this floor, and even outside this floor. Honestly, we have had a number of back and forth with the majority on this particular clause. I've also had an opportunity to have a side conversation with the majority whip. And, Mr. Speaker, this was one thing that I wanted to persuade that as a House, we must stand for devolution. In the sense that even if you were to vary the membership of this council to the extent that the ministry has got 1 or 2 people, and then the rest of the people are coming from different departments and functions of the county, the ultimate power of that council lies with the ministry, to the extent that reporting and correspondences and any other responsibility of that committee, they are answerable to the ministry. The moment we do that, then we completely plow on devolution, and we take the primary health care to the ministry. So that's why I strongly believe that this clause should not be part of this bill, and we do away with I would want to hear what perhaps the two leaders think of the House from the other side, and maybe Bonnie and majority can also maybe churn on that.
Not yet. Senator Danson Mungatana, let's hear your views.
Chair, I also had filed an amendment, and my proposal was that we delete the entire clause 14, just like my two previous honorable senators have said. My reasons are this. Madam Chair, when you look at the Constitution, Schedule 4, there is a separation between the national duties and the county duties. The national, when it comes to health, at number 23, in the allocation of duty in that schedule, the national government is given national referral hospitals. At duty number 28, the national government is given health policy, and that's it. Madam Speaker, when it comes to county governments at part 2 of that schedule, it says county health services, including county health facilities and pharmacies, B, ambulance services, C, promotion of primary health care. So healthcare is only for referral and only for health policy. So it will be wrong for us to purport, in fact, very unconstitutional, for us to purport to create a primary healthcare advisory council at the national level, which is not there in the Constitution. So, Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, I propose that we totally delete this, because if we don't, and I hope the chair of the Health Committee is listening to me, if we don't, this will be subject to litigation. And I also wanted to add, Madam Speaker, those duties, the functions that have been are given to primary health care advisory at the national, they can be done by one of the directors in the ministry. But all the real duties must be carried out at the county level. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, members, we will make our submissions very short because of the element of time. Chair, I want you to address yourself to that question while understanding that the request by the other members, the proposal is to drop, to delete.
Honorable Chair and honorable members, I hear my colleagues on that matter, but allow me to persuade them otherwise that we retain that clause. If you look at the composition, what we have proposed ourselves as a committee is to remove the caucus of vice chancellors and put there the director of Kenya Medical Training College for purposes of training. But if you look at that body, it's basically to advise the Cabinet Secretary on policy matters. And if you look at sub-clause 4, Senator Edi and Senator Mungatana, it says, in the execution of its function, the Primary Healthcare Advisory Council shall be guided by the principles under the Constitution, health laws, policies, guidelines, and relevant international instruments. 2, there is the aspect of inter-county. And you know, when we are talking of primary health care, we are talking of prevention, and you know, prevention of some of these diseases that can easily spread within a very short time, there will be need for some certain coordination. It will be almost impossible to ask counties how they are going to sit. They need an anchor kind of place to centralize. 2, clause 15 then provides for the implementation bit, which will be handled by the county. Finally, the health of the nation is the aggregation of the sum totals of the efforts of all counties, which now makes a national position. Chair, I would want to persuade my colleagues that I really don't think that this will offend the Constitution unless there are specific things that take away the county, but for this body just to advise the Cabinet Secretary, and we all understand that you can be a Cabinet Secretary, but you really will not have all the information. You need a team to work on. And I think because there is a deliberate effort this time round between national government and county governments to make sure that the rollout of UAC is successful, let's give a chance to this advisory body to be able to support county governments at the county level and national government at the national level so that these can be rolled out. And Chair, honorable members here, I want to persuade them because we have a chance, if there is an issue, to come and amend if there will be need. So I want to persuade Eddie, for purpose of coordination, implementation of USC has failed 3 times. We are trying to look at all the things that is going to make it work. And part of it is that critical coordination and proper advice, both at the county level and at the national level. Thank you, Chair.
We have 2. Yes, Senator Boni, I'll give you half a minute.
Yes, Chair, I thank you. Chair, allow me to persuade the chair of the committee. We have put a lot of thought into this, and the amendment by Senator Mungatana is supported by many of us. What you are saying is not going to help the bill. We are curing the mischief of our bill being rendered unconstitutional. If in 14 you care to look, it starts saying that the Cabinet Secretary shall appoint the advisory members. The Cabinet Secretary has no business in going into matters of primary health care. Number 2, the people who have been appointed, Chair, that is in A, in B, in D, and in H. They are all national. So it makes this advisory council a national function. Let us drop it. We are doing it in good faith.
Chair, are you convinced by this?
No need to debate.
Honorable Chair, I think
Allow the chair to work without coercion.
yes, Honorable Chair, since Senator Sifuna believes in, and he said he was waiting for advice of the senior Dr. Boni Kalwale, who has since advised that that clause is going to cure the mischief that is there in the bill, I agree that we drop that clause.
Thank you, Chair. That is leadership. I propose the question that clause. I propose the question that clause 14 be deleted. As per proposal by Senator Danson Mungatana, I put the question that clause 14 be deleted as per the proposal by Senator Danson Mungatana. The proposal by Senator Eddie Okech and Senator Godfrey Otsotsi are dropped. And the proposal by Chair Standing Committee for Amendment is also dropped. Next.
Clause 15.
I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. I request the Chair of Standing Committee on Health, Senator Madago, to move the amendment. And there is also an amendment by Senator Eddie Okech, who will quickly follow.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move amendment on clause 15, that clause 15 of the bill amended in paragraph C by deleting the words "and remuneration" appearing immediately after the words "for the facilitation." Honorable members, when we looked at this as a committee, we realized that the moment we begin talking about remuneration, then we are going to put counties in a very precarious position where CHPs might then want to be confirmed and be put in terms on payroll in terms that are specified by SRC and the labor laws. And because CHPs are not going to be paid a salary, they are going to be paid a stipend, we thought we need to delete that word remuneration. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Eddie, half a minute.
Madam Speaker, it's just the amendment is just a consequential amendment to the previous amendment on clause 13, just to change the title so that management is purely on the county government.
I propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by Chair Health Committee and Senator Eddie Okech. I put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by Chair Health Committee and Senator Eddie Okech. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 16.
I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. I invite Senator Godfrey Otsotsi to address us on the amendment. And Senator Eddie Okech, you will also bring your amendment.
Madam Speaker, I beg to amend clause 16 as per the order paper in 16.3a, which says that one of the functions of the county primary health care advisory committee will be promote oversight. I think, honorable members, the use of the word oversight here is misplaced because we know the role of oversight is by the county assembly in this case. So therefore, I'm proposing to remove that part, promote oversight, and retain the other parts, monitor and evaluate the implementation of primary health care. Additionally, M function talks about submitting quarterly reports to the Primary Health Care Advisory Council, the one that we have just deleted. So in that case, that function is not applicable. So I request members to support.
Senator Eddie Okech, as you address us on the amendment, just know your amendment is covered by the proposal by Senator Godfrey Osotsi, and it goes wider than your proposal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that is the same. So I'll drop my amendment in favor of Senator Osotti's amendment on 16, clause 16M.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by Senator Godfrey Osotsi. I put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by Senator Godfrey Osotsi. The proposal for amendment by Senator Eddie Okech is dropped. Next.
Clause 17.
I propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 17 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clause 18.
I propose the question that clause 18 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 18 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clause 19.
I propose the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. I invite the Chair of Health Committee, Senator Madego, to address. Use the district box, please.
Honorable Chair and honorable members, I beg to move an amendment on clause 19, that clause 19 of the bill be amended in subclause 1 by deleting the words "in accordance with Kenya Community Health Policy" appearing at the end of the clause. Honorable members, if you read that each county government has established and operational as a community health units in accordance with the Kenya Community Health Policy. So we are proposing to delete "in accordance with the Kenya Community Health Policy" appearing at the end of the clause.
I propose the question that clause 19 be amended as proposed by Chair Health Committee. I put the question that clause 19 be amended as proposed by the Chair Standing Committee on Health.
Clause 20.
I propose the question that clause 20 be part of the bill. I invite the Chair Committee on Health to address, and Senator Osotsi to also address us on the amendment.
Honorable Chair and honorable members, I beg to move an amendment on clause 20, that clause 20 of the bill be amended A in subclause 1 by deleting the word "special interest" appearing immediately after the words "a representative of" in paragraph C, and substituting therefore the word "therefore" with the word "vulnerable", and B in subclause 3 by inserting the words "renewable ones" at the end of the subclause. Honorable members, we as a committee we thought to amend that word "special interest" and to be consistent with other provisions in the law that uses "vulnerable". And the term of the committee, we also propose so that a committee can have a chance to renew at once. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Osotsi.
Madam Chair, I beg that my amendment on clause 20 as per the order paper be considered, and the essence of this amendment, Madam Speaker, is to amend section 20 subclause 3
so that the senator may be heard.
Clause 20 subclause 3 that says the committee members in subsection 1 shall be appointed in writing by the CEC member and shall serve for a period of 3 years. Madam Speaker, this is a very important committee that should not be left in the hands of one person, the CEC for Health. The import of my amendment is to amend so that the county assembly has a role in approving the list that has been proposed by the county executive member. That is in the first part. The second part, sub-clause 4, which talks about the functions of the Community Health Committee, I'm again removing the reference to oversight, which is in 4A, that they will provide leadership and oversight in the implementation of health and other related community services. You know as well that is the function of county assembly to oversight. So I'm proposing to delete that word oversight and leave provide leadership in the implementation of health and other related community services.
I propose, Chair, you have a comment.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I agree with the amendments, the deletion of the word oversight and the introduction of the role of county assembly in that, so that when we go to vote is clear.
I propose the question that clause 20 be amended as Senator Mungatana.
I have no problem with the second bit of the amendment, but Madam Chair, when you look at the kind of committees that are approved through county assembly, it is the Public Service Commission, a county public service board that normally goes through that process. If you take just these small committees like the one for health, Madam Speaker, I see like you will be creating expectations, very high expectations, because they will be like the Public Service Board. And then the process of getting those people through the county assembly, like many of you, you know it's a very a hectic process. And it might take longer than we anticipate, and this might delay in the implementation of this universal health care. I don't know, I was asking if my honorable senator does not feel very strongly about it, we can just leave it so that the county, the health minister can appoint. These people are not that, they are also not remunerated. So I would want to convince my colleague, if it is possible, if you don't feel very strongly about it, we can just leave the process to be as simple as that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Osotsi, I think it's important you respond to that.
Yeah, I fully agree with Senator Mungatana that maybe I can consider dropping that. And the basis is that in his amendment, he has proposed that the county assemblies will come up with the county legislation. So that may be covered there.
Thank you, Senator Osotsi, for that consideration. I propose the question that clause 20 be amended as proposed by the chair, Health Committee, and Senator Osotsi, subject to the clause that has been dropped, clause part A, 20 part A. Division at the end. Next.
Clause 21.
I propose the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. I invite Senator Godfrey Otsotsi to address us on the amendment.
Madam Speaker, I beg that my amendment in clause 21 be considered as per the order paper. And the import of this is that that clause 21 talks about miscellaneous provisions. Madam Speaker, I'm proposing to amend clause 21 so that we can insert the following clause, that despite section 9 that talks about the process of selecting these promoters, a person appointed as a community health volunteer or a community health worker at the commencement of this act shall be deemed to be appointed as a community health promoters under this act. The import of this amendment, Madam Speaker, is so that we do not sack the people who currently perform this role in our villages, called the CHVs. If we don't amend it this way, Madam Speaker, and pass this bill as it is, those people will not have a job because they will be required to go through the elaborate process that is in this bill to be appointed again, which will be very unfair. Some of them are yet to be paid. They are being owed a lot of money. And I think it's just proper that besides the process, the new process defined in Section 9, these people be allowed to transition as community health promoters, Madam Speaker.
Chair, Standing Committee on Health, members, can we consult in low tones? You agree that that's the same amendment
Yes,
you have proposed?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In fact, the proposal by Senator Ososi is similar to that of the committee, that we had also proposed to amend Section 9. A person appointed as a community health volunteer at the commencement of this act shall be deemed to be appointed as a community health promoter under this act. I think we agree with that amendment.
So who drops who? Do we take the chair's proposal for amendment? We drop Osotsis? Senator Osotsi, do you accept to drop yours? We go by the Standing Committee on Health.
Yes, I'll go by the committee's position.
Thank you.
That has sent a stern warning to the people in KRB. Madam Speaker, KRB has been held captive. What you here call state capture, the state capture in KRB is too much, and we must be able to relook how KRB distributes resources to the 4 authorities, the KERA, KURA, KENA, and KWS, Madam Speaker. Those are the bodies where KRB has been keeping resources. But KRB of late and for the previous years has become a cartel auction of actually dishing money to friends or other people to support their infrastructure while the rest of the country is left out. Some of our constituencies have the longest roads without tarmac and without even maram. Madam Speaker, we want to thank the committee and ask them to go further and reprimand the people of KRB from excesses of power. Madam Speaker, I stand to support.
The Honorable Faramalim.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this matter. Madam Speaker, I am one of the few members of Parliament, very, very few indeed, who has been in Parliament way back in 1993. Madam Speaker, in 1993, I asked a question in Parliament how much money, developmental money, was spent on Northeastern Province, all sectors and everything for the last 30 years. Madam Speaker, the answer I got was that it was 178 million shillings. For 3 districts those days of Wajir, Garissa, and Mandera, for 30 years, the government spent less than 6 million shillings per year on all those 3 districts in development matters. That's because when we got independence, Madam Speaker, this government, or the government of the day, devised what they called the Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965, which was the intensification of development resources in the high potential areas. In other words, our first Prime Minister and first President at the time, Jomo Kenyatta, did not want money to go to any of those rural, arid and semi-arid areas. I wanted all those developments to be concentrated in the areas where his community and a few other highlands, what was called those days, the highlands, the white highlands. It's because of that that this country has never been at ease with itself in terms of politics. We had all sorts of movements. We had the multi-party, what they call agitation that time, that cost a lot of Kenyan lives. This was all because we were trying to look for an equitable way, an equal opportunity way in which resources were going to be distributed to the 4 corners of this country. Madam Speaker, today, the only infrastructure we have in our constituencies are the ones which have been initiated through the CDF. The only other infrastructure we have are the roads that were built by KERA through in conjunction with the Parliament, National Assembly. You cannot take that away again. That cannot be taken away. I support this report of the committee. If anything, we want them to take it on bigger roles. We do not have a single feeder road in the whole of Northeastern Province which is tarmac, Madam Speaker. Not a single tarmac. Makilap, Madam Speaker, protect me from Makilap and Bui. And listen to what I'm saying so that you understand there's a country called Kenya, and don't interpret Kenya to be just to the confines of your own region or your own constituency. The moment we begin feeling for the people of Igembe, for the people of Garissa, for the people of Wajir, for the people of South Pokot, that is the time this country is going to become a nation. But if we only keep on thinking about what goes to my people, my constituency, my tribe, my clan, it's not going to work. This country, we will bequeath it. We've been independent for 60 years. We're going to be independent again for another 60 years, and we'll still be where we started in the first place. These roads must be increased, let alone what we have right now. We need more resources for the rural Kenya rural roads. Because this is the only time that we're able to determine our priorities in development and as far as roads are concerned. Roads are concerned. And we are achieving some serious progress. Serious progress. I remember one time in one term, I was able to cover from one end of the constituency to the other end of the constituency. And this one now, what is now 2 constituencies, Dadaab and Lagdera, which was only called Lagdera. Something that had not been accomplished by the government, successive government, for 40 years almost before that. More than 40 years. Now, if you take away, Madam Speaker, can I have 2 minutes or 3 minutes with your indulgence?
You can have 1 minute.
Okay. Because of that, now Kenyans in all corners of this country feel CDF, they feel KERA roads, Kenya rural roads, they feel that they are part of this country. The locals, herdsmen, people who live in the rural areas will come to you and tell you we want this as a priority road because it connects us to our markets. It connects us to the borehole. It connects us to this and these places, the centers which are there. And it's as a result of that, that we can then claim proudly that we belong to a country called Kenya, where every Kenyan has a certain attention. Certain attention. Madam Speaker, every one of you will be surprised if I tell them that we have less than 200 kilometers of tarmac road in the whole of Northeastern Province. What used to be Northeastern Province, almost a third of this country, has only the road from Garissa to Modogashi. That's all, period. In other parts, The roads go to the houses of people. It goes to their own farms. It goes to everywhere. Tarmac, 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 everywhere. Are they any better, more equal Kenyans than us?
Thank you very much, Honorable Farah. Honorable Farah Maalim, your time is up and very well spoken. The Honorable Gideon Kimayo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand also to support this report from the Committee of Transport. Madam Speaker, I reject, as most of my colleagues have spoken, that the money from KERA is reduced and taken to the counties. And I must say this, let the counties stay on their land. The counties have their own money. Every year through the appropriation bill, the counties are allocated their money. They also collect their own revenue. They also get conditional grants from the government. They also get grants from development partners. Where do they take that money now that they want money that are usually taken care of the constituencies through KERA? This will not be allowed. Number two, this body called KERA, or the other one which allocated money to KERA, the Kenya Roads Board, for them to change the ceilings on the allocations which goes to each constituency, they must come to this house. They must come to this house, and the lawmakers who are in this house will deliberate on the issues they have brought to this house, and if we agree with them, we make the changes. But they don't have the right to change those ceilings. And we are telling them, until they do that, they bring out the regulations, or they bring an amendment of the bill that developed the roads board and the ceilings, that is null and void. Madam Speaker, actually this money for KERA that goes to our constituencies should be increased instead of reduced. Should be increased. Because like what my colleague, senior Farah Maalim, Mheshimiwa Farah Maalim, the feasible projects in our constituencies are not county projects. They are CDF projects. So if you take the little that we use to develop our roads in the constituencies and give to the counties, I don't know which direction you are heading. So my submission is amount of money through KERA should actually be increased instead of decreasing the amount of money that we usually get in every financial year. I speak for my constituency, Keyo South constituency. In my constituency, I have 3 topographies. I have the islands, I have the hanging valley, and I have the lowlands, which is the Kerio Valley. The space between the Kerio Valley and the islands, we have the Kerio escarpment. Very challenging in terms of transport. As we speak up to today, we are still trying to develop the same roads because of the challenging nature of the topography. If you take the little money that we get through KERA, why will I get money to develop those roads which are very challenging? As we speak in my constituency of Keyo South constituency, my people from Kabiamit ward, they know the nature of the roads. They are actually saying the member of parliament is not doing enough to develop their roads, but little do they know that we get little resources from KERA. And now the same KERA wants to take that amount of money back. With that, Madam Speaker, I submit that we support the report of the Transport Committee, and KERA needs to stop what they are trying to do. And if they want to do that, let them bring a bill to this house if they want to amend. But I don't think there is any member of parliament who will reduce the amount of money that goes to their constituencies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Keyo. Honorable members, I would like to welcome, seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, student leaders from Mount Kenya University. You are welcome to the National Assembly to observe proceedings in the House. Thank you. Honorable members, I would like to give this chance to the Honorable James Nikal, member for Seme.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam
I'm corrected
Speaker.
that it is the Honorable Dr. James Nyikao.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this attempt to reduce funding for carer raises two basic issues. Issue number one is the welfare of the people. Like NGCDF, the people have felt the value of carer the way the roads have been done. Attempt to take this money to the counties will not really give a similar effect because counties have very many competing needs and they do not ring fence funds for purposes that they are supposed to be done. It will go into one pool and it will do all sorts of things. It will not be focused on roads, so it cannot have the same effect. Point number two is fidelity to the law in our governance and in the managing the affairs of this country. Appropriation of funds is only through Parliament and through the laws. Funds to carer can only be changed in accordance with the Roads Act. If anybody wants to change it, the matter must be brought before this assembly and the Roads Act is changed. Madam Speaker, we are seeing a tendency in this country of this executive to actually do things against the law. It is not necessary for this executive to actually break the law. These circulars that officers give that are against the law have no meaning and are dangerous. I've been in government. Officers should know that any circular that is contrary to the government, if anything is done, they will go to jail. Sometimes we hear people mentioning the president's name, that is the president's directive. That will not help you in a court of law. The president gives directives in a written form, signed. That is what the Constitution says. So if you give this directive, these circulars, without a written directive from the president, even then, if it is against the law, it can be challenged. And at this particular time, with this assembly as it is, there is absolutely no need for this executive to do anything against the law. This executive can change the law any minute it wants. We know we are in this assembly. So if they want to change things, come here, use this knife that the government has now of changing the law as it deems fit. It will be okay. There's no need to do things against the law. We have seen this. We have had it in the minutes of education. We have had it in the minutes of health. Look at the admission of children, of students to MTC now through COOPS. It is illegal. Even the Attorney General has stated it is illegal. It is still being done. What is the harm of just bringing that KMTC law here to be changed so that it is in line with COOPS law? It can be done in a day. We have passed important laws, bills here in 2 days. So why are we breaking the law? Madam Speaker, I commend this committee for actually the recommendation they have made and I support it. But let me give a warning to committees. The tendency we are seeing, you are going to be manipulated from the executive. Yesterday, I demonstrated here very clearly that the minutes of our Committee of Health did not reach the order paper as we passed them in the committee. So I must tell all committees, please stand your ground. You are the vanguard against the excesses of the executive. With that, Madam Speaker, I support this report.
Honorable members, there is a lot of interest in this report, and the topmost two on this screen is the Honorable Dr. Pukose, who is not in the House, member for Entebes, and the Honorable Omboko Milemba. So I am going to give an opportunity to the Honorable Omboko Milemba, member for Emuhaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I read the report, Honorable Speaker,
And I begin by looking at the circular itself. That number one, Honorable Speaker, the circular was not in good faith. Because why would a DG write a circular of that magnitude to regional directors indicating those changes without coming to Parliament to get the law done correctly? So for me, it was an indictment. Number two, Honorable Speaker, it's good that I also noticed the report, the committee invited him. And I also want to thank Honorable Okello Jared for having raised this matter on the Tuesday 22nd in the month of August, which made the plenary to know what was happening. I also want to indict the letter from the CS Transport, because in his answer for the reason why he allowed that letter to be written, he indicates that he was fearing for pending bills which would otherwise arise if early procurement was done. But he did not envisage that the same pending bills would occur on the carer side, on the parliamentarian side, should the early procurement have been done. So I also found an indictment on Waziri, because he anticipated that this money will go to county governments. Honorable Speaker, an institution by the name the 9th National and County Government Coordinating Summit sitting in Naivasha cannot purport to change the law. And therefore, this is the same business which many other speakers have dealt with over institutions that want to change the law through the back door. Yesterday, Honorable Speaker was talking about the Minister of Education. I don't want to go that direction, and we are having the same thing happening on the roads. I want to also further say, Honorable Speaker, that the country roads were classified very clearly according to the law into two types and allocated accordingly. That in all the roads in the country, we have the national trunk roads classified as A, B, and C, and then we have the county roads classified as D, E, F, and G. And Kera was given the mandate over roads in C. And I also want to raise to the House to understand that the county governments actually have their own money for roads, and they have been given a 15% of all the monies for road maintenance, which was given as a conditional grant to the county governments after, I think, the year 2021. But later on, it was mainstreamed into the equitable share of revenue. So what is happening is that they have their money, but because it is in the equitable share of revenue, they are no longer preferring to put this money on roads, and that's why they want extra money on the road. Otherwise, they have their bits of the road maintenance fund money. I would wish to indicate that I thank the committee for having recommended that this should not go on. But I also think that the team or the committee must take care of the following. That the benefits or the position you see yourself get and enjoy in Parliament were actually put in place by those whom in the beginning were also servants here and legislators. And these positions cannot disappear under your arms as the chair of transport. And therefore you need to stand very strong so that you protect the benefits, the powers of this House, which is being now wrestled away by other institutions, especially the lawmaking process. I think with those few remarks, I really must stop. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member for Muhaya. Honourable Members, time allocated for this motion has come to the end, and I would like to call upon the mover to reply. The mover can be magnanimous. You may make a decision to give a minute to a few members.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Before I reply, I will donate just a few minutes to Of course, not by the show of hand. I will follow the order here, the screen. I have a copy of the screen. So I'll allow Honorable Kirwa 45 seconds.
Well, Chair, read the whole list so that they get short.
Okay, Honorable Kirwa, Honorable Kirago, who is a member of this committee. I don't know whether he's here. Well, Honorable Jerry Maina, Honorable Fires Bato, Honorable Karemba, in that order. Well, I see. Yeah.
I'm here. Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support this report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on this issue of the proposed reduction of the projected ceiling of the Kera roads. Madam Speaker, in my constituency, the roads that are really sustained and the roads that are passable are the roads that are maintained by Kera. And so I stand to support the committee in that we should not reduce the budget, or we should not reduce the allocation that we do give to Kera. Because when you look at the roads sustained and maintained by the national county government, most of those roads, Madam Speaker, are really impassable. They don't use their resources well, they don't use their funds well, but the little money we get through Kera, through our constituencies, we are able, and the citizens are able to see what we do with the little that we get. Instead, we should be requesting the Kera funds that were allocated to be increased so that we'll be able to maintain.
The order will be as the chair called. Please proceed, Honorable Njeri.
I rise to support this report.
It was the Honorable Kirago first. The Honorable Kirago, then we go to the Honorable Njeri Maina. Please trace the Honorable Kirago.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, I rise to support this report. Madam Speaker, this report has clearly indicated that, in fact, there is no other people other than this assembly that can make law. Madam Speaker, it is clear as far as the Kenya Roads Act 1999 that the allocations for various agencies is clearly indicated. Madam Speaker, this country must respect the laws that are there. And it is clear that the responsibility of allocating funds is given to this House. And Madam Speaker, we know that the effort of reducing this amount is to enable the governors to contain the members of parliament who on the ground have shown that they can manage the resources properly, because sometimes the county government cannot show what they are doing with the monies that they are collecting. For this reason, Madam Chair, I support.
Jeremiah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the report by the committee. Honorable Speaker, at this moment in time, we should be discussing how to increase funding for infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, not take away or cap the same, Honorable Speaker. We still need access to good roads so that our people can have better economic development, facilitate the supply chain, and access to health facilities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Roads Act is very clear, Honorable Speaker. We can therefore not have it subdued or overlooked by any other legislation, Honorable Speaker, unless it is amended by this House, Honorable Speaker. I therefore support the same, and I say that any other introduction is ultra-vires to the Roads Act and cannot therefore be condoned by this House of legislation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Barto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on behalf of the people of Moibien to support this committee for the swift action they took and being vigilant, because as far as we are concerned, Article 945 of the Constitution gives Parliament absolute powers to make laws of the land. And in this case, the 13th Parliament. Parliament is a house of records. There was no time when we passed this amendment that we reduced carer, the 22% to 18%, Madam Speaker. And whatever the executive did by writing letters or writing memos to Parliament and directing them is in itself an illegality, Madam Speaker, and it should be stopped. The roads, which Moiben constituency is a farmer's constituency, and most of our roads are passable now, courtesy of the carer, the money which we get from carer to transform these roads. So anything that takes away that money is like taking away or being unfair.
Chair, you have 5 more minutes.
It was me, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start by thanking the committee led by Honorable G.K. Karaoke for a very well done job. And the Commission for Revenue Allocation has no jurisdiction to appropriate resources. That is a reserve for this House, Honorable Speaker. The good roads that we have in our constituencies are good roads because of the existence of carer. And what we require actually is to earn the allocation that is given to carer and not to attempt to cut down the allocation that is given to carer, because the county governments have their own source of revenue. They are able to generate their own revenue. They can go on and appropriate their own resources to the roads that they want to do under similar funds, but not to imagine of getting resources from the carer. So I wish to support this committee and urge the CRA to find another duty to do than to cut down the resources that is supposed to go to carer. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to thank the honorable members for supporting this motion, this report. Honorable Speaker, there are these very beautiful words written over there: for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. The idea to reduce carer allocation has nothing to do with justice. It's actually a very selfish move. It's an illegal move, and it is what we would call now and void. Honorable Speaker, this money, as members have stated here, the carer allocation, 22 and 10%, goes into maintenance of our very critical roads in our constituencies. And my committee has vowed to resist any attempt to reduce this allocation. Honorable Speaker, there is this commission, independent commission called CRA, Commission on Revenue Allocation. This is the body, and I have a letter where I've seen a letter where they are inviting stakeholders to a meeting next month to discuss the allocation of road maintenance fuel levy without any regard to the act that establishes KRB. Honorable Speaker, I've looked at the article, at Article 216 that established this commission. And the mandate of this commission, Honorable Speaker, is to submit, it says the commission shall submit its recommendations to the Senate, to the National Assembly, and to other entities. I don't have to mention all. It is not mandated to share revenue. It is mandated to make recommendations to Senate and National Assembly. Instead of making recommendations, they are taking a backdoor route to try and amend the Constitution to try and share revenue, which is the preserve of this house. Changing constitution laws, making laws is a preserve of this house. And Honorable Speaker, any attempt to divert resources that are meant for our constituencies will be resisted in all terms possible, in all ways possible. Honorable Speaker, I have also seen a letter which is good news to this House and honorable members, indicating that the letter that was written to KERA by KRB has been withdrawn. I want to thank the DG of KRB for withdrawing that letter, and I want to ask. I know.
It is out of order, Honorable Alice Nganga, member for Thika Town.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know even why we are thanking the RB or the CEO. I don't know why we are thanking him. Because in the first place, what had informed them to write that letter to the House as who, given power by who? Can they first answer who gave them that mandate that they can write to the House and reduce money that was meant to be that is in the Act? Rather than us thanking them, we should be summoning them.
So,
Honorable Speaker, maybe I should have said I appreciate the fact that that letter has been withdrawn.
Honorable GK, I have another point of order by the Honorable Jared Okello. What is out of order, Honorable Jared Okello?
I thank you, Madam Speaker. And from the outset, let me remind the House that I did raise this matter a day preceding our recess, and that has informed this kind of discussion, which is quite robust in nature, and I like it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the executive employs...
there is nothing out of order, Honorable Jared, but
that is what I'm coming to.
You have made your point.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
You still have something...
yes, yes. The executive, at certain times, comes with what we call the executive fiat, where they want to overreach their mandate. And this letter from KERA is a true testament of the executive trying to overreach its mandate, Madam Speaker. Whereas a letter has been written by the DG KERA, Madam Speaker, let me just raise this matter
Honorable Jared Okello,
to allow the chair.
Honorable Jared Okello, I exactly get what you are doing. You have made your point. Thank you very much. There is nothing out of order. Honorable Chair, kindly conclude your reply.
Madam Speaker, let me just finish raising this most important matter. Now, we acknowledge that a letter has been written,
So
Madam
what
Speaker.
is out of order, Honorable
What is
Jared
out of order
Okello?
is this. Before the chair talked about a letter that has been withdrawn, he has gone ahead to tell us that another letter has been written collecting people's views on the same subject, Madam Speaker. So they are trying to manage us within a very short period of time.
Chair, I think, thank you very much, Jared Okello.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, clearly on the matter raised by the member for Thika and the matter raised by the Honorable Jared Okello, I think you have something to make a comment on. Would you like to make a comment?
Yes. Honorable Speaker, there's nothing wrong with appreciating something that has been done the right way. It is, and I understand, Honorable Speaker, every member wants to discuss, to contribute to this issue.
Chair, I have so many points of order. So what I'll do, I'll just take the first one on the list. What is out of order, Honorable Jeffrey Mwangi, member for Tetu?
Madam Speaker, I think the chair should be apologizing to this House. First of all, that this seemed to have gone past him as the chair of the departmental committee. This should never have happened in the first place. So the chair owes this house an apology and should not be purporting to pass some remarks from or appreciation from a third party. Thank you.
Chair, listening to the debate, luckily I presided
I withdraw, Honorable Chair.
over the...
Honorable
Thank you
Speaker,
very much for withdrawing. Please proceed and reply. You don't have much time to reply.
Honorable Speaker, once again, I want to let members know that the earlier letter has been withdrawn.
Chair, bear with
and
me.
I think it's
I'll just
important.
take one more point of order from the Honorable Gideon Mulungi. I'm trying to get someone who has not spoken on this matter.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, the chair of the Departmental Committee on Roads is completely out of order. To thank the CEO for KRB, he should be asking the CEO for KRB to resign with immediate effect. Thank you.
Mulungi, I'll ask the chair to proceed and reply. He had already made a statement on that. He withdrew.
Thank you, Honorable. As I conclude my remarks, I want to thank Honorable members for their contributions and even for standing firm to assure our constituents that money meant for maintenance of our rural roads will not be diverted to avenues that are not helpful in any way. Honorable Speaker, I know every member would have wanted to contribute to this very important matter. No wonder we have had very many points of order and interventions. I know it is all in good faith, and I appreciate you, honorable members, because you really care about your constituencies. The Commission on Revenue Allocation, Honorable Speaker, is totally out of order to require that these resources be shared with the governors. Governors have their own resources, and they should focus on using their resources the right way. Honorable Speaker, like it has been said here before, the money that goes to this allocation, you can see what we have done with this allocation. But when you go to other allocations out there, I will not mention, you will not see what they do with it. Before, Honorable Speaker, if you could add me 1 minute. Honorable Speaker, before this money was removed from the hands of the governors, they used to divert it to even the current expenses, which is totally against the Constitution. And when we started receiving this money, all of it, I think from last financial year, we have seen a tremendous improvement of our roads. Honorable Speaker, I thank honorable members once again, and I wish to assure you that the Committee on Transport will safeguard your resources and
Chair, you beg to reply. That has to go on record, please. Chair, proceed.
And Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. You know that these motions have timelines. So, honorable members, having established that we have quorum in the House to put the question, I hereby put the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the proposed reduction of the projected ceilings for the Kenya Rural Roads Authority for the financial years 2024-2025 and 2025-2026, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 26 September 2023. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, consideration of the East African Community
multilateral agreement on aircraft accident and incident investigations.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure.
Okay, Honorable Speaker,
You may walk to the table. Please welcome
thank
to the
you.
table.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I move that this House adopts the report on the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the East Africa Community Multilateral Agreement on Aircraft Accident and Incidents Investigations, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of East Africa Community Multilateral Agreements on Aircraft Accident and Incidents Investigations.
Chair, I'm sorry. Honorable members, allow me to recognize these students. Normally, it's extremely important for them, and I know that the proposing and seconding may take some time. Honorable members, seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, we have students from Ikawa Secondary School, Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe constituency from Tharaka Nithi County. And also students from Moi Junior Secondary School, Kabarak, Rongai constituency, Nakuru County. You are welcome to the National Assembly to continue observing proceedings in the House. You may proceed, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Speaker, motion number 10, consideration of the, I move that Honorable Speaker, I request that you stand down that motion until next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. That request has been ascended to. Next order.
Order number 10, motion, consideration of the protocols relating to amendments of Articles 50A and 56 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, 1944, Chicago Convention.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and ask Honorable Kirago to second.
Chair.
Thank you, Honorable
Chair,
Speaker.
You may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I move that this House adopts the report on the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17 August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to request Honorable Kirago to second.
Thank you. Honorable Kirago?
Madam Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the protocols relating to amendments of Article 50A and 56 of the Convention of International Civil Aviation 1944, Chicago Convention, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 17 August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention of International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention. The member for Kaviani, Honorable Mbui.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, actually, I rise to query the chair of this committee, because the chair of the committee has clearly indicated to us what the motion is. But Madam Speaker, it is important that whenever a chair is moving any motion or any bill, that he points out what it's about, what exactly it deals with, and then now, after that, members can continue to debate. But the chair has just read out exactly what is on the order paper, and that then he called someone to second, who said I second, and now members of this House haven't even known what convention is being changed, what protocol is being changed, what does Convention International Civil Aviation 1944, Article 50A and 56, what do they represent? What are they all about? So, Madam Speaker, I would have loved to support if I knew. Otherwise, now we are in the dark, Madam Speaker, and the chair has not brought any light or shed any light on this motion.
Honorable Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise on Standing Order 96 that we adjourn this particular debate on this motion and give it another time so that we can still debate it. It's an important report that we need to debate as Parliament, and therefore I beg your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, that under Article 96 we adjourn the debate on this motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Owen Bayer. That request is accented to. Next order.
Order number 11, motion, report of the Kenyan delegation to the 146th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union and related meetings held in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Resumption of debate.
Honorable members, this debate was interrupted on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, and it has a balance of time, that is 2 hours and 10 minutes. There was no one on the floor, so any member who has interest in this, you may press the intervention button. I'll give you an opportunity to speak.
Honorable Speaker, now that
Majority Leader.
Now that there's no interest to debate this, I would like to rise under Standing Order 95 that you put the question on this. The debate started and there's no more interest. I think we can request the mover to reply. Who's a member? Yeah.
Yes. What is out of? I cannot see you on record.
Okay, there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You may proceed. What is out of order?
I was wondering, we were debating on the issue of the roads, the Kera issue, and I thought we were supposed to put a question. Oh, Imeisha? Okay. Oh.
Honorable Kiplangat, you are completely completely out of order. While you are out, I appreciate that you had spoken. Actually, records show.
I'm saying I was misadvised. Thank you.
Well, you are out of order. The motion that you are talking about has been concluded. Honorable members, there be no interest. I call upon the mover to reply. The Honorable Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, this puts me in a very awkward position. But as a leader of the majority party, I reply and request that Honorable Mbui seconds.
Honorable Owen Bayer, you do not need a second round.
Oh, so I reply, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, for some reason, I will not put. I'll not put the question. Question to be put is deferred to another sitting, as will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, probable loss of investments in Cyton High Yield Solution Platform.
Chairperson, Public Petitions Committee. The Honorable Owen Bayer, I see that you have an intervention.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, This motion, the Chairperson Public Petitions Committee, I cannot see the Honorable Chairperson in the House, neither members. I would request you that, Honorable Speaker, you allow me to again adjourn debate on that and Article 96 so that it can be rescheduled for some other time. Honorable Speaker, I beg to request. The Chairperson of Public Petitions Committee.
Honorable members, that request is hereby accented to. Before we go to the next order, I see several points of order. The Honorable Alice Nganga, member for Thika Town.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I had just put the intervention earlier. I withdraw.
The Honorable John Kawanjiko, member for Kiamba.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I think I wanted to contribute on the motion with to do with the IPU, but it seems that the leader of majority has decided to defer that motion to later dates. That's what I wanted to, debate, because I was among the members who went to Bahrain to discuss the issues to do with the IPU.
The Honorable Johanna Ngeno, member for Emurua Dikri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I just rose on this particular issue of motion number 12, which is talking about the site on something. I think it has all to do with the, yes. And you know, Madam Speaker, there is a very serious, which I think we need to have a very serious discussion on it. Most of the matters which are supposed to go to various committees, which particular committees can have a very serious scrutiny of those particular issues, are ending up in one committee, which is Petitions Committee, which in the end may lack the capacity actually to address these particular issues. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this because a few months ago there was an issue to do with Kibra, Soweto slum upgrading, where people had issues and they didn't know how to address it, but it was brought to this house in form of petition. And it has gone dead. No solution was reached at because the Petitions Committee will only listen to the petition, but the committee that is concerned with that particular situation is not given the opportunity to address it. Today we are having the same situation with the Saiton construction. I think it has something to do with the constructions. Madam Speaker, I think it is high time we also identify the petitions that goes to Petitions Committee and the issues that should go to the particular committees so that they address those particular issues. Madam Speaker, we also have a petition on the way coming about the collapsing of houses. But Madam Speaker, if that petition was to go to the Petition Committee, it is going to die a natural death. And yet people are losing properties. So we would want to actually have a very serious discussion on this particular issue. Which issues should go to Petitions Committee? Which issues should go to the real committees who can actually address these particular issues?
So
and
what
thank you,
is
Madam
out of
Speaker.
order? Before I encourage other points of order, honorable members, on this subject, I would like to just make a comment on that the matter that is raising is serious, and I hope that it is an issue that can be taken up by the House leadership. I do not have any further comment on it at this moment. Honorable Omboko Milemba, what is out of order?
Not really out of order, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for this chance. The House leadership must call its people to order. The Saiton matter, which is now being postponed, and it even risked being dropped completely, was a real menace and almost disaster to the people who invested in this thing. And finally, it's on the floor of the House. And the leadership, which knew very well that their matter was coming, is not in the House. So if we were to follow the Mombasa Protocol, I think I want you, Honorable Speaker, to sound a warning bell to the leaders and the chairmen of the committees that this is how you lose business that otherwise belongs to the people. Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Members, the matter that you are discussing right now, as I said, I would like it to be taken up by the House leadership. And I would like to discourage you from discussing it further. It was not in our motions for today, and I would like to appreciate the comments that you have made, but I'll pass this information. This information will be passed to the House leadership so that it can be handled, and I order that we stop that debate on the chairs of committees and on matters of petitions, because it's a matter that concerns the way committees have been organized in the House, and I feel that at this moment I am not qualified at this moment in time to give the right direction on it. Thank you, honorable members. The burning issue is not about chairs of committees, and it is not about petitions.
On a point of order, number 35, reading the mood of the House and the disorganization on the part of the leadership, I think we need to establish whether we actually have a quorum to transact any business.
Honorable members, I would like to direct that the bell is rung for 10 minutes. Honorable members, when the bell is being rung, the rules do not allow you to walk out, honorable members. So you'll stay inside the House.
If we can get quorum, if we can get that quorum has been raised. So technically this one he requested for me to be so he was follow proceeding kama proceeding tukipata quorum kama tukipata quorum once everything is there's no need to kuambia how siku disorganization.
mwezi Disemba mwaka 2022. Na msikilizaji, kwenye ratiba ya bunge la taifa leo alasiri pia kuna mswada wa marekebisho ya sheria mbalimbali ambayo iliorodheshwa kati ya shughuli ambazo zilitarajiwa kushughulikiwa leo katika ukumbi wa bunge la taifa. Kwa sasa msikilizaji na mtazamaji, hamna shughuli ambayo inaendelea katika ukumbi wa bunge la taifa kwa sababu idadi ya kutosha ya wabunge haijatimizwa. Kumbuka bunge la taifa linahitaji kuwa na wabunge 50 kati ya wabunge wote 349 ili liweze kutekeleza majukumu yake kuambatana na kanuni za bunge na pia katiba ya Kenya. Kumbuka baadhi ya majukumu ya bunge la taifa ni pamoja na utunzi wa sheria, uwakilishi wa maeneo bunge mbalimbali na pia utathmini wa utendakazi wa serikali. Kwa sasa wabunge wanasubiri idadi ya kutosha itimizwe ili waweze kuendelea na shughuli ya sasa, kwa sababu kwa sasa akidi imekosekana au idadi ya kutosha ya wabunge imekosekana, ndiposa basi kwa sasa hakuna shughuli ambayo inaendelea katika ukumbi wa bunge. Jinsi nilivyokujuza ni kwamba wabunge wamekosoa halmashauri ya kushughulikia barabara za mashambani hapa nchini kwa kutoa mawasilisho au ujumbe kwa wasimamizi wa kimaeneo wa halmashauri hiyo, huku ikipendekeza kupunguza mgao wa pesa za kutengewa barabara hizo katika maeneo ya mashambani.
Because the bell is still being rung, it's also important for us to learn the house rules.
Kwa mwaka wa kifedha wa 2024-2025, 2025-2026 bila idhini ya bunge. Wabunge basi walikuwa wakiunga mkono ripoti ya kamati ya uchukuzi na muundo msingi ambayo ilichunguza swala hilo, na wabunge wakasema jukumu la kutenga pesa ni jukumu ambalo ni la bunge pekee na wala hamna taasisi nyingine yoyote ambayo ina mamlaka ya kutenga pesa. Ripoti hiyo inapendekeza kwamba mgao wa pesa kwa halmashauri hiyo isalie jinsi ilivyoratibishwa kwenye sheria ya bodi ya barabara hapa nchini ya mwaka 1999, na kwamba mkurugenzi mkuu wa halmashauri ya kushughulikia barabara za mashambani hapa nchini aondoe ujumbe huu aliotuma kwa wasimamizi wa kikanda wa barabara. Ripoti hiyo inapendekeza kwamba hamna afisa yeyote wa umma anayeruhusiwa kutuma ujumbe au ujumbe wowote ambao unaweza kuvuruga sheria kabla ya kuidhinishwa na bunge. Na msikilizaji na mtazamaji wa KBC Radio Taifa, ikiwapo umefungulia redio yako au runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1, hamna shughuli ambayo inaendelea kwa sasa katika ukumbi wa bunge baada ya kukosekana kwa idadi ya kutosha ya wabunge ili bunge liweze kutekeleza majukumu yake kuambatana na kanuni za bunge na pia kuambatana na katiba. Na kwa sasa basi bunge limesimamisha shughuli zake kwa muda wa dakika 10 ili kuona iwapo wabunge wataingia ukumbini na kujaza idadi hiyo, ili basi shughuli ziweze kuendelea jinsi ilivyopangwa kwenye ratiba ya bunge la taifa. Ni saa 11:15 saa zetu za kanda ya Afrika Mashariki. Na kwenye ratiba ya bunge leo, hoja ya kwanza iliyoratibishwa ni hoja ya kuidhinisha ripoti ya kamati ya uchukuzi na muundo msingi ambayo ilipunguza au ilizingatia pendekezo la kupunguza mgao wa pesa kwa halmashauri ya kushughulikia barabara za mashambani hapa nchini kwa mwaka wa kifedha wa 2024-2025, 2025-2026. Pia kwenye ratiba ya bunge kuna hoja ya kuidhinisha ripoti ya kamati ya uchukuzi na muundo msingi ambayo ilichunguza makubaliano mbalimbali ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki kuhusu ajali za ndege na visa vingine sawia. Namwona Mheshimiwa Mohamed Ali, msikilizaji, anaingia ukumbini.
So, honorable members, and the time now being take that again. Honorable members, and the time being 5:17 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 3rd day of October 2023 at 2:30 p.m.
Shadi?